This is Ken Tritle from DreamWell Homes. Today we're going to talk about something that affects both buyers and sellers in a real estate transaction, and that is the appraisal. Today to help us with that, we have Don Lowe, Certified Residential Appraiser.
Good morning.
And we have Dave Stapleton from First Choice Bank.
Good morning.
So Don, one of the things we want to talk about first is, please explain to home sellers how appraisers arrive at a value of a home.
The way we arrive at a value of a home is first choosing comparable sales in the neighborhood. And I mean comparable is within 20% square footage, within a mile radius, and within 6 months that they've sold. And then we also inspect the property, measure it, take a photo of every room, see the condition and the materials, and look for certain items that make it stand out and make it unique. And also try to find those comparables and arrive at a value, opinion, and that's what the definition of an appraisal is, an opinion of value.
Okay, great, thank you. So Don, you mentioned comps. Define how you select the best comps to use in your appraisal.
Well, the numbers I used previously, within a mile, within 6 months, those are Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines from secondary market investors. How I choose them more on a local basis is if you are located within a development, I try to choose comps in that development first, because a typical buyer is choosing in a development in an area. So that's what I would do first. And if there's no comps in that development of similar size, square footage, items I mentioned before, then I would expand to other developments nearby or maybe some that aren't in developments.
Okay. So Don has now finished his work, he's done his appraisal, and he has submitted it to the lender. So Dave, touch on what happens after that.
Okay, well, actually, the appraisal will go back to the appraisal management company that actually ordered the appraisal with the appraiser, scheduled it. It's reviewed, and then if no errors are found, then it's passed on and sent to the underwriter for review. And then the underwriter reviews it, and if she thinks that something needs to be corrected, she'll take it back to the management company, and then it goes back to the appraiser. So they're basically keeping the loan officer out of the equation by what they're doing, okay, to make sure that there's no influence or anything. It's an actual true opinion of the value.
Okay, great, thank you. So the appraisal has come in, and let's say it has come in below the sales price. What may have caused that, Don, and what are our options at that point?
What may have caused that is they're in a development and there may be really good comparable sales that are model matches or identical floor plans just like it. And they all sold for X amount, which is less than the contract price. And at that point, the appraiser's hands are tied, and the value is what the value is if they're all very similar. And that may be why it didn't come up sales price.
Okay, so what are our options at that point?
Well, then at that point, I've received the appraisal, and as a loan officer, I'm going to review it. I'm going to look at the comps that were used and looking at what some of the pending sales may be. Okay, because if like Don said, if I can add to his opinion a recent sale that's closing, then he has the ability to go back and reevaluate the value. So I would come back to the agent and say, why don't we check to see when these are going to close, these pending sales, okay? And if it's within the escrow period, then they close, then I can ask for the reopinion, okay? Add that new comp. The second thing is to actually submit a reconsideration of value, okay? And actually go back to the agents, and if they feel strong enough that there were comps that should have been used that weren't, they can provide those to me. I fill out the reconsideration form, submit it through the appraisal management company. They contact the appraiser, and he reviews it. And if he agrees with it, he does. If he doesn't, his opinion still stands. Okay. The next thing is come back. The agents renegotiate the price down to match what the appraised value is. That's one of the options. Or lastly, the buyer can bring in the extra money for the difference between the sales price and the appraised value.
To bridge the gap.
To bridge the gap, absolutely.
Okay, great. So Don, question for you as a real estate agent. One of the questions we often get from our home sellers is, what can we do to increase the value of our home? So as from an appraiser's eyes, what are the places you give the most scrutiny to when you look at a home?
Well, we're definitely looking at the overall condition of the property. Has it been remodeled? Kitchens, baths, flooring are the key ones that not only appraisers see, but the typical buyer sees. And that's what we're shooting for, is what the typical buyer would pay for a property.
Okay.
And you don't want to over-improve a property because you'll never recoup that money in the marketplace. But overall condition, paint, upgrades, that's the key to upping the value of your property.
Okay. So Don, I'm a home seller. What can I do to prepare best for an appraisal to get the most favorable appraisal possible?
Well, the best thing you can do is definitely give the appraiser access, so it's convenient to their time frame. That'll get them in a good mood right away. And then you have to have access to all the rooms. So make sure nobody's sleeping or baby's sleeping. And then outside the house, you have to have access. We're going to measure the whole house and take pictures of every angle. And it's best to have the house in good condition, tidy, neat, like you're having people over. Other things that are very important, underwriters nowadays want to have 3 things. Carbon monoxide detector, a smoke alarm, which most people have, but good to double check, and your water heater needs to be double strapped. And if not, those will be conditioned by the appraiser and the underwriter as well. And the appraiser will have to go back out there and, of course, charge a fee to make sure and snap a photo, make sure those things were done.
So there could be an extra fee, and it could also delay the sequence.
Yes, I'm sure David's seen it.
And one of the other things is to look at the exterior of the property, and if you see peeling paint, if you see rotted wood on the eaves or something like that, maybe take the time before the appraiser comes out and do those minor repairs, because if he sees them and notes them in the appraisal, the underwriter's going to require that to be done before the close of escrow.
Okay, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
So I thank you both for your time this morning. I think we've learned that the appraisal is not a big scary thing. It's part of the natural process of a real estate transaction. But if you're a viewer watching this and you have any specific questions, we're happy to answer those for you. If I don't have the answer, we'll reach out to Don, we'll reach out to Dave. Just contact us at 760-798-9024. Thank you.